How's it going, everybody? I'm joined by Mobile Gamer, and today we're going to be talking about character releases. R.I.P. Rest in pieces, because Scopely kind of tore up the Bible on that one, and is going to do some new stuff. What's your gut check right now on this, Mr. Mobile Gamer?
So everything that we've been talking about, specifically the changes to the Old Man Logan Scourge, Captain Britain paywalled release, and then the massive delays starting with Hank Pym and extending to the Annihilators. They're not just trying something temporarily. This is going to be a thing. And we got confirmation of that in a call yesterday, and the feeling was all bad. They tried to show us some numbers that did not make sense to me. They just didn't make sense. They were nonsense. Anyways, you can't argue with the complaints on Reddit every day. It's very much the community does not like these changes, and I just don't believe their numbers, and nor do I think that this is good for the player base. This is not player friendly. This is terrible.
Yeah, this is absolutely terrible, and it's going to be received terribly, and it's going to be received terribly pretty soon, right? Because there's going to be a blog coming out today. Well, at the time you're reading this, it's going to be out in 3 hours from now, is my understanding.
I've not read this, so this is the first time I've seen it right here.
Yeah, so it's a summation of what we went through in the call, but there's a little bit more knowledge that we get to share from the call. But basically, the cliff notes of this are exactly what you just said. Every fear that we had is going to be correct. The events are that we traditionally recognize for character releases, like the current one running for Gladiator, which is 30 days since his offers, basically gone. So path to new characters. There's going to be phase 1 of character release, where all players are encouraged to initially unlock a new character by engaging with the game throughout the entire week. This is like the Annihilators playing in Arena, the Orcus playing in the raids. You get those orbs, you get lucky, right? And then there's phase 2 power up, where it's like, okay, now you're going to see things in Strike Pass, milestones, that sort of thing. I got the cliff notes written here, so let's just go off this, because this is going to be a lot more honest than I think the blog is going to be. There's going to be one character shard event per team in about 30 days. Like, we know what's happening with Gladiator is going to be the norm. Team orbs are going to be the primary free-to-play release method for the initial phase before you get to whatever that phase 2 power-up phase is. They're going for a quarterly seasonal chase sort of thing, so I don't know what that means for the Orcus team or the Annihilator team, or if that is Odin is the quarterly season chase, because it does seem that there's going to be a lot of people getting him in what would be a quarter if they finally release Dark Dimension 8. And the 67-month max star max star is unchanged, right? So we still should be able to farm the 7 stars. What was your take on just this breakdown of character releases going forward?
Not good. I don't know what you want me to say. I mean, this is not great.
Yeah.
What part of it do you want me to talk about? Like, there's really nothing good about this. This is literally them adding value to players that choose to spend on characters and providing exclusivity to those players. They've already done this with diamonds, right? They have auctions and things like that, and they're trying to give exclusivity. So I believe that this is fueled by Mega Krakens wanting to have more value, because their 7/7 is not good enough, and somebody with a 3/3 can beat up on them or whatever, and they want more exclusivity. And so this is, regardless of what their numbers said and what they tried to show us, this is going to push back the availability of when someone unlocks a character after the initial offer. There's no other way of interpreting this, right? Yeah, there's going to be a 1 in 300 chance, or whatever the orb rates are, if someone pulling a single 100 drop. Yeah, so some people will have a character earlier than before. I mean, you're pulling up the Sentinel orb right there. This is a perfect example. A 0.4, what is that? 1 in 200, 1 in 300? I don't know. I know 0.5 is 1 in 200.
Yeah.
It's not good. And so if you don't buy or core the character on day 1, I don't know when you're going to unlock them. Like, they didn't give us an exact number, but am I missing anything with this? Did I leave any parts out? I mean, the only good thing about what's going on right now is they boosted the amount of orbs that you get in Arena So you're gonna have to make strategic decisions on when to core character orbs. I think that's the plan. I think that is the plan.
That's the plan, definitely. I want to talk about that a little bit later. Some of the things that we were told the goals are, I just flat out disagree with. So is that like, this is driving engagement. Like, this is going to drive more engagement. We saw more people engaging with the Annihilators for Arena. We saw more people engaging with Cosmic Crucible for the Illuminati team. And it's just like, we're going to get to the data too. I think they're working with the most skewed data they could have possibly cherry-picked. If you're driving engagement to Arena, maybe it's because you're also running an Arena event where people have to do 5 attacks to get the free stuff. Like, I was going in, I wasn't engaging with Arena. I was going in, starting the fight, quitting out the fight, doing that 5 times in a row within 5 minutes to get it done. And I don't think I was alone in that. And I don't think, I don't agree. I don't believe it.
Okay, so I want to back up a little bit because I don't want this to be like an anti-Kraken video and it's the Kraken's fault, because I actually don't think it is.
Yeah.
This is a sole decision made by Scopely, and I know that their intent is to add more value to spenders. Mm-hmm. And I think what's really happening is that Scopely has data on all of their games. And Scopely has data on Marvel Strike Force direct competitors. And they're looking at that data and saying our game is too cheap. I think that's what's happening.
Right. I think you could be right. Because here's the thing.
That is what's happening.
I roll in deep waters, right? In Onslaught, I'm in the deepest,
me too,
darkest depths of the Kraken world. They're not complaining, because with the new character stats, especially when they're maxing out their characters and they're getting these free diamonds. Let's say Gladiator was free diamonds. Yeah. Thanos, people got free diamonds for. Gore, they're going to get free diamonds at the end of this monthly event. The stats for these characters is different. Like a 2-diamond Gore is not the same as a 3-star Gore. They're different. Now I think they're trying to, and they said this. They said this in plain English. They want people buying the character offers. They just do.
Yes.
So I think this is for the dolphin whale people, and I just look, if you put a number on this, $80 for passes. A character release offers $50 for like the bare unlock. We're talking American money. That's like a whole house in Canada money, okay? Like, we're talking 3 characters per patch. Now, one of them is going to be guaranteed to have an event, but that's going to be 30 days later. Maybe that'll be the pivotal character, so you have to buy that person, but you also need the tertiary character. It seems like a complete mess, and I don't think it's the drive engagement. I don't think it's going to make the Krakens any happier. It's just straight up, they want more money. I think you're exactly right. They're looking at the other assets and going
They're
nuts.
looking at other games. And so, I don't want to direct the anger towards Krakens. If you want to be mad at Krakens, be mad at the Krakens in one of the Scopely's sister games, right? Just pull one. Be mad at the Krakens in Star Trek Fleet Command, because I've talked to players that play Star Trek Fleet Command, and that is a more expensive game to play than Marvel Strike Force. WWE Champions, I've heard from players that is a more expensive game to play on a monthly base than Marvel Strike Force. Yep. And so I think that's the problem, is that they're talking to other games in their space and they're getting data from their competitors, and they just want to make the game more expensive. This wasn't obvious to me yesterday, but when I woke up this morning, this was crystal clear to me. And so I'm going to go on a tangent. So, you play in Onslaught, I play in TSF, right? And I've been in some of the large alliances. So there are players out there that buy everything, right?
Oh yeah.
And in some ways, this doesn't affect them. I think what this is going to affect is free to play and battle pass spenders. People that normally did not unlock characters are going to get a much longer release time, or it's going to be very randomized, and which we've experienced with Annihilators, right? I mean, some people are going to unlock them on day 1. Some people are going to have to wait until who knows when, right?
60 days. 60.
Up to 60 days. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if that number, if they've got anything. I don't think they even know what they're going to do. Yeah. It's not 100% set in stone. But this is like, if you're, the way I see it is that battle pass spenders, which is $80 a month, the perks and the downside, the perks and bonuses to purchasing new character offers and the penalties for not purchasing a new character offer are going to get more extreme.
Yes.
Because they're opening up a window from initial offers to when somebody will unlock the character free to play, and it's going to be randomized. Because the orbs are random. So I don't know if I missed anything or if that's the direction you're going, but
well, for sure. Let's picture it this way: Gladiator. What if Gladiator was the last character to come out, didn't get a free-to-play event? The difference between having Gladiator and not having Gladiator in Arena, that's crazy. But it's also crazy in Cosmic Crucible, right? Because if you have Gladiator plus 2 Annihilators with Scrawl, Cabal's done. Yeah.
It's a whole season.
It's a whole season. So here's what you can expect. Free-to-play unlock anywhere between day 1 if you hit the jackpot, and 60 days was thrown out there. I'm not sure if that was thrown out willy-nilly. That seems crazy, but we'll see. Core orbs, the orbs that 675 orbs, they're going to stay in the store much longer to allow people to core it more. Character shards unlocks, not set at 3. So we pushed back like, hey, could you at least push a lot more characters to be 2-star? And it came back like, we're still playing around with that. It could be 2-star, could be 3 or 4-star. He said 4-star. I almost left the call. I was like, did I just hear him say 4-star? Kidding. Because then you're going to core so much more, right? Mercy mechanics for these orbs, the orbs that we were just kind of poo-pooing on, these orbs, there should be a mercy mechanic that is being worked on to make it so that you hit that at least this 10 drop more often.
It was like an event, like a shard event. Number of orbs you open, you get shards that way. It was the way that I interpreted that part of the call. Like, there already is something.
We have.
Yeah, it's what we already have. He was referring to what we already have as the mercy mechanic. Boo. I don't know if you got it. That's the way I interpreted that part of the call.
I thought.
What do you think?
I thought it was something about orbs, but you may be right because that is a mercy mechanic. The milestones we currently
I think he was referring to those events which we already have. Yeah, is as the mercy mechanic. Yeah.
They did say, though, no paywalled entry to events. So, like, the Shattered Dimension was supposed to be super hard, but it was also supposed to be cosmic from the get-go. It wasn't supposed to be you need 5 Annihilators or 3 Annihilators, whatever the case may be. You should be able to enter, right?
Yeah, I do think that was the only part of the call that I was positive about, and I do believe him that Shattered Dimension was not meant to be pay-to-play behind 3 Annihilators. They did not want that to happen. Yeah. I did you believe him when he said that? I believed that part of the call. I thought it was like that was not supposed to be like that, and I told the team to change it. They forgot to do the 1 node. That's why the event was delayed, because they didn't understand my instructions. Yeah. I believed him on that part. I really did.
Yeah, no, I believe him when he says events are not going to be paywalled for entry, but they're going to be much more difficult without. I 100% believe that. I think that's the way it should have worked from the get-go. That's fine.
Okay, but what is an event? Because I think I was listening back to the call that the video that we recorded yesterday, and I feel like they're going to be showcase events that are still paywalled, right? I mean, I think what you meant by an event is like Shattered Dimension or a tower mode or something like that. Yeah. Like those wouldn't be paywalled, but there absolutely will be showcase events, character events released around the time of character that are going to be 1000% paywalled, because we didn't. That's why just like it is right now, right? Those events are paywalled.
Yes.
I mean, if you don't have a 5-star gore or a 4-star gore, you're not getting as many points. You're not getting that extra node. You're not able to do the 2nd or the 3rd node. You're not able to do the 1st node if you don't unlock the character. So I think that's going to be more of the same.
Yeah, they're definitely still going to have the Kraken appreciation showcases for sure. I did ask about the Meta Monthly event. They said that's not going to be paywalled, which I think that's going to be a question a lot of people have asking. Farm ability is not changing. We already went over that. Legendary Unlock. Not paywalled to get the baby version. We talked about Old Man Logan. He said, like, we figured somebody would figure out how to do it without having to, like, jack up Cabal and at a time. But getting a bigger version, super limited, right? That is definitely gonna be paywalled. Like we saw for Old Man Logan, if you didn't have, I think it was 5 stars on your at a time and your Cabal team, you were limited to a 4-star Logan or a 5-star Logan.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Two red stars.
Basically, you had to have 5s to get a 5. You had to have 6s to get a 6. You had to have 7s to get a 6. The way that they structured the scourges and the difficulty levels was basically mirrors the way it was when the game first came out. When we're talking about Mega Red or whatever. I mean, it just kind of a fallback to that. And the downside to that is that it takes away a lot of the competitive nature of those events. And I believe the way it was in the past is someone like yourself could min-max the event and go in with a much smaller teams and much less of an investment and have to work 10 hours and reset nodes, where the Krakens, that have the maxed out teams can blast through it very quickly. That's not the situation. It's paywalled, right?
Yeah.
And the reality is this, and I actually kind of knew this was true as a, for a lot of people, if you were a light spender or free to play, you got Old Man Logan for free. I got Old Man Logan on a 30-day-old account. My free to play account was 30 days old, and Old Man Logan was on some, 4 times better than any character in my roster.
Broke Arena.
And I got him.
Baby Arena was
anywhere.
Broken.
Anywhere.
Yeah.
A mirror match, you can't win on mirror match.
Yeah.
You got looped, right? And it was like free. And I think what they're thinking is we should have charged for that.
Yep. Yeah, I think so.
I think that's the takeaway is like, yeah, why should we get, I don't know how they said it or if they even said this, but the feeling I got is like, why should the best characters in this game be actually free or easy to get? And I don't think that's going to be I just don't see that happening again. Now, they did say that they wanted low star access on legendaries, but I think the overall intent is that they don't want to give this stuff away anymore.
They want to monetize more. So the data, some of the data I think is super skewed. I can't argue with the data. We were just talking about Old Man Logan. They claim they make very little money off the legendary characters. They want to remedy that. But some of the data that I think was skewed, that is being basically weaponized to go ahead with this decision, is that more players unlock the Annihilators and Illuminati at higher shard totals. And that counts the cord orbs people did. Now, here's the thing. When you announce there's going to be an exclusive character for the first time ever, not a Dark Dimension character, not even a legendary character, an epic character. When you announce an epic character is coming to the game, and if you don't have Hank and Shuri at 5 stars, tough tits. By the way, Crucible, just demolished. If you don't have him and someone else does, it's a crazy advantage, right? People are going to core that orb more. And then the next time you say, oh, by the way, here's the arena team. They're also going to be a legendary input team with the Illuminati. People core these orbs so much more. So, of course, the higher shard totals in the community is going to be higher. And they're incorporating that to kind of give a little bit of a smokescreen to these orbs that we were talking about, right? The Sentinel orb and the Annihilate orb. I think the data is completely messed up. What do you think about the data they're using for this?
Well, you mentioned they were talking about they had all these. The data was kind of weird. The slide that struck me the weirdest, it was the very first slide, which is not what you're talking about. Yeah. Pull up the Sentinel orbs drop rates, right? Which is the 0.4%. There it is, right there, right? So they were trying to say that, on some percentage, a lot more free-to-play players were unlocking. I don't know what character they're talking about, but let's just say Sentinel. They don't have the data on Sentinel, but they were pointing to data, something to do with Annihilators, that suggest that more players were unlocking Sentinel, that's on the screen, right? Free to play in the first week than ever before. Well, no shit. 1 in 300 people get 100 drop. So if it goes to point nothing to some multiple of point nothing, if 0.01% of the player base was unlocking, something 6 months ago, free to play in the first week. And now, because of this 1 in 300 chance, maybe there's a 0.1, now a 0.09%. What does that even mean? Is that even a meaningful number?
It's not. And
it's not meaningful at all.
But also, that number is even more skewed. I'm glad you brought this up because I forgot to bring this up. Another reason why the total shard amount is meaningless, to your point, is that they say the highly engaged players, they shouldn't really see a seismic change in when they unlock characters. But if they're using this data, unengaged players that log in once every 3rd or 4th day, collect their arena rewards, and open those. What if those people are skewing the numbers because it's them hitting the max? You're completely right. It's completely meaningless. The cores, the number, everything. It just... Anyway.
And so they were trying to say that this new system was going to have a more net number of shards than the old system. And I don't know. I mean, they wouldn't give us any exact numbers, and I could not understand what they were trying to show us. And I do believe that's possibly true. But my question is when, or, what timetable are they talking about? 30 days out, 45 days out, 60 days out? Was there an exclusivity window that was prohibitive to a lot of players that, which go on Reddit, I did not get Gladiator yet. I do not have Gore yet. I do not have Thanos yet.
Yep.
And the people that do got lucky. And so there may be in some weird world that the total number of shards are higher, but that's completely dependent if you got lucky or not.
Yep. Yeah.
And so they've increased the expected value, but they've also drastically increase the standard deviation and the variance on where you're going to be, and a certain players are going to just be fucked. You don't get them, right? That's just what's going to happen, right?
Well, I think at the end of the day, just the law of averages, I think everyone's going to be fucked at some point, because what's going to happen is this is a team-based game, and the team doesn't function in certain modes unless it's the full team. Maybe I get super lucky with Sentinel, I get trashed for Mega Sentinel, but you got super lucky for Mega Sentinel, and you got trashed. Well, we both have incomplete teams that we then can't do the content with, right? For how many days? We don't know. It's just absolute garbage.
I mean, if you get screwed on one player, it's all going to come back to coring. It really is. This is the new plan. Core character. Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, so you're thinking the same thing. I haven't seen your slides, but that is the point right there.
Yeah, exactly. So like going forward, we're gonna do deep dives into cores, because we're gonna have to have some sort of pattern recognition of, is it the first character that also gets the event? Will they disclose that info to us? I guess we didn't ask that yet. I'm definitely gonna ask that, because at least that would be good information for people to know. And then, do we do partial core unlocks? Because people are, 20 shards from Gladiator, 40 shards from Gore. So do you not core to get the unlock, but instead you core just to get a little bump so that you get a reasonable time? And then the big question is, do we have to stop coring for energy?
On ISO, I think you don't have to anymore. And there's the incursion energy and the ISO energy. I mean, I feel like blue ISO is a solved problem. I mean, I don't know about you, but I after going through the Shattered Dimension, I've got so many extra ions. It's there's still some, so many extra ISOs rather, but blue ISO 5 is a little bit scarce on the ISO, but the ions themselves, there's just so many of them. And so like, why am I farming them, right? Why am I farming blue ISO? Do I have to spend cores on it? Well, there you go. Got 10.
I would consider that a super lucky pull. I have a couple of these because we just got them from an event. I want to open just to showcase. Here's 20 Gladiators, which arguably these were some of the best orbs, because it was 25% chance to get them, right? I got super lucky before. 12. How many orbs do you need to get one of these characters? Like Sentinel has the base drop of 1. Do you really think they're going to give us 100 orbs within 30 days?
Well, so what this is doing is this is introducing risk, right, to the players. There's the risk now that you're not going to unlock the character in the first month, 2 months, whatever, right? And you better, or if you don't want that risk of not being able to do something, or a team being incomplete, or let's talk specifically about Orcus.
Yeah.
Not being able to go through the raids because you didn't get one of the 3 characters, there is a risk. And if you want to minimize this risk, spend some money and buy the character offers. That is what's happening.
But don't forget, you also need to be surrounded by 23 other people that spend so they can do that same content, because, hey, alliance-based raid events exist, like the one we're currently in, right? So it's not just, hey, you need to do it. You need to make sure you're surrounded by other people that are doing the same thing. Which I've never been a big fan of, trying to congregate spenders away from maybe their friends as opposed to just other big spenders. I digress. Listen, vibe check, Mobile. This is going to be it for the video. I'm not happy about this, but it's also, everything they said is subject to change, right? They said everything. They're gonna see the data. They're gonna follow the data. I think their initial data, trash. And I hope it's like you say, man, they're just going by what their other games have done. And they said this much. The game is not struggling. This is not a last second cash grab.
Yeah.
The game is doing tremendous right now. The new player faucet is turned on. People are flooding into the game. and it feels like this is a stress test. I just don't know how it's gonna go.
My YouTube views year over year are up 22% right now.
It's huge.
So yeah, from this last 365 to the prior 365 before that. So the game is thriving in some way that is meaningful on my numbers on YouTube and Twitch, and I've looked at other people's numbers, and you've told me verbally the same thing.
Yeah.
Yes, my numbers are up. What's going on? And so the game is thriving, but I believe there's a massive lag. And the game is thriving because of positive decisions that they made 6 to 12 months ago. And so these are decisions that they're making now and that they've made in the last 90 days. What will be the outcome of that over the next 6 months?
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe they figure the game is thriving and they can afford to lose some non-spenders and some free-to-play players, and we're gonna pressure some of the battle pass players into buying character offers, and if we lose some players, oh well. The game is I don't know what the strategy is, but that's what it feels like.
That's certainly what it feels like to me too. I'm very pessimistic about the change and looking forward to being proven wrong. I hope, but I don't think I will be. Anyway, that's gonna be it for this video, guys. Thank you so much for joining me on this one, Mr. Mobile Gamer. And of course, guys, we have another video on Mobile Gamer's channel where we recorded it literally seconds after the call.
I don't even know if I can publish that video because they changed the rules. I mean, this is just it's all bad. Anyways.
Well, they're changing the rules on how we unlock characters, so it is what it is, okay? Anyway, guys, make sure you head on over, check out that video. Let us know in the comment section below, both on this video and his video, how you're feeling. Let us know how you are getting along with these new characters. Did you core a bunch of them? Do you think you contributed to the data?
It's this guy's fault.
It's his
right
fault.
There.
It's
that guy's fault.
It's evil. It's evil Marvel Superman's fault. It always has been.
Yeah, and I actually don't think it's our Krakens. I think it's the Krakens in the other games, that other Scopely games. I really do.
Yeah, I honestly, in Onslaught, I don't see anybody complaining about not having a big enough advantage. I don't. Anyway, that's it, guys. Have yourselves a day. Look, it's just a game. Don't let it ruin your day, but you're probably not going to have a wonderful day if this is going to affect you like it is affecting me and maybe Mr. Mobile Gamer over here. Whew. All right, guys, have a good one. Bye.
Bye.
That's it for the video, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Stay happy, healthy, have fun, and I'll see you in the next one.